Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8.6. Okay, well, let's continue this. I have put out a massive amount of infrastructure builds, as you can see as I continue to scroll up. There we go to section that wasn't. I'm sure it's going to help with infrastructure. I'm absolutely sure, or with supply, but I don't know how much because, well, obviously we can do stack more on, you know, on top of each other. But part of it is, and of course we can. Maybe I just tried to do some logical, continue following paths, but will they use the supply lines? You know, because let's see, we got here. Yeah, they're sort of using it there. Here. Coming down, so that's the kind of thing. I think we built one here, didn't we? No, we didn't. Oh. What color is that? That is still yellow there. So that's fine. That will help. Okay. Supply production has advanced. That is good. We will stop that. We will do supply organization, which means more throughput, which is sort of the reverse of building infrastructure. Makes less important. Not important, but less. Okay, well. Yeah, even though it cuts down our range a little bit. Yes, we've won there. In the past, and I believe it's this way now, notice some of the retreating units have changed over to Nepali control, which may mean they're a little bit better, and they're going to supply themselves. But that these have been incredibly hard to take because they're mountains and other things, low infrastructure, and they dig themselves in. So we're shifting down some forces over here. Really could use some more naval aircraft. But these guys messed up a little bit here. And both repair and get reorganized somewhat. I've also noticed Spain has sent up its there. Tibet is mobilizing. Whoa. Diplomacy, Tibet. Okay, well, it's moving towards the Comintern and or the Allies more than it's moving towards us. And it's lining itself towards the Allies, maybe to just try to keep it away from. Well, the highest threat is still Britain. I want to get some border territory on Tibet. Okay, advanced gyroscopic sights for fighters. That's under avionics, and it's one and done. Yeah, I think we lost very high popularity or something, so we'll just let that end. Basically letting you, Japan, have the last little bit of this territory here. We're going to take this to hold this side of the river. Well, let's see. Does Japan want supplies? I know they canceled a bunch, but I think that's because we stopped delivering them for some reason. Well, just because this plummeted down for a brief while. Trade agreement. We're going to see if we can sell a bunch of supplies. No. Oh, you don't have money. Fine. Trade agreement. Well, we need some rare materials. You want to sell them? Oh, okay. Well, hey, Japan finally wants to sell us some stuff. We are down 24, so let's see. Yes, I know, we're down. How much are they down money-wise? Ooh, a lot, but well. I think we can beat the Japanese to there. That'll be good. Secure our eastern border down here in India. Okay, guys. Well, I don't know if you hear the motorcycle driving by and some of the other street noise. Picked a bad time to record. I can tell already. I want to spread you out a bit more. Whole possible pattern, but that sort of pattern. For recording. Yes, you may have energy. Okay, yeah, only negative 16 now. Oh, I wanted to remember, I was forgetting. Okay, so we've got here, let's attack there, because that is, I do believe, where the actual oil is that we're going after, yes. And we need to put in supply. Yeah, I know we're sort of flying supplies in, but so we've done that, achieved that goal. We now have these guys here, brought in by other vessels, these I believe. Okay. We don't yet have a corps commander here, but at least one that's here. There we go, that's good. Come into there. Yes, transport. I hope our air is enough to deal with their air. Ooh, they've got a lot of air. Wow. I wonder why they're a threat. Well, just 3. But we've already got the 3 up there. Of course, we need to establish a supply back. Okay, you're going to move here. You're the mountain division with. Oh, you're the jungle leader. Yeah. So no, let's send you, even though you are a mountain division, that way. It probably would have been a better choice. There we go. I've got these guys here, but well, don't want to lose any units trying to get those tropical island garrisons to their location. Just isn't worth losing anything. There's not that big of a rush. Okay, rocket artillery ammunition. Finally, it seems like forever that it's been researching, so we're going to cancel that. And then we're going to come over here. And self-propelled rocket artillery for, well, when we get to it. Okay, carrier armor has advanced now. We're going to stop this partially just because we're behind, and naval strike tactics. Okay, now, as advised by the chat, and I really do appreciate you guys, what we're going to do here is come here, we're going to add Wargle, because we're just at war, and we're going to say puppet all local government in Nepal. Yes, because I really don't need Nepal. Isn't enough, if any, really resources or anything there, industry. And Bhutan, similarly, we don't need Bhutan. So, see here. It just isn't anything. But there's, to me, between some of the rare materials and even just a little bit of industry, I do want to keep control of India myself and not just puppet it or try to release it as a you know, puppet or something. That's partially why we're keeping Saudi Arabia, get this, and such, because yes, we are getting the excess from Iran, and I'm sure it's helping, but still, Iran is using up some of it itself. Well, now we are next to Tibet. We control territory next to Tibet, and that may change Okay, well they are no longer trying to influence away, so they're still going closer to the common turn than us, but no longer angling towards the allies, so yeah, so that's good. I don't think we can do any sort of trade or anything like that. Get them to try to help out our relations with them. Let's see what we can do with attacking here. As you can see, it's not that we're gonna fail, but it's a way to grind up units or commanders, though, that's for sure. I wanted to be a really smart sort of player. That's what this would be used for. Of course, just me saying this tells you I'm not a really smart player. And what new technology did we just see? A gasoline engine increased to 4. I believe that's in the armor techs. Yes, all the way to. And what are we still waiting for here? It's sometimes. I don't know. I think it goes off the screen to know exactly what we need to do research, though I'm sure we are to some degree by researching their wide tracks, short-barreled HE, advanced optics maybe, but I doubt it. Well, armor plate thickness maybe. For some more. Now I did get where it went. Here. Long range fighters. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put these guys out here. Air intercept over this sort of. I think they'll still intercept there, but I'm not absolutely sure. Any air that appears up off of a carrier or somewhere. Oh, they've somehow okay, I think I've just spotted something here. Sometimes I don't spot these things. Liberia is at war with us now. Okay, yay. Liberia decided to take on the German Reich. It wanted to commit suicide. Now, I don't know why you're not getting supplies. Or maybe you're just overusing supplies. Let's air supply into here. Air supply. No, it's too far for air supply. Okay, well. I was getting ready to use these guys to invade Brazil not too long. They'll still go there, but we'll delay things. carrier hangars have advanced. And that's grayed out. Oh, what else is popped up? Oh, small arms. Okay, good. There we go. There's some other tech I was forgetting that just a minute ago wanted to research, but I don't remember what it was. Again here with this damn supply thing. How are we doing with producing stuff? Snowfall ends, okay. So we're just sort of getting into it now. Island garrisons, yes, yes. We want all those, they will be useful. Alright, well now that you have some supply, back. Like I sort of said, this can be sort of a near endless grind up. Aircraft carrier engines have advanced. Okay, allows research of aircraft carrier hangars and escort carrier technology. We're going to stop that escort carrier technology construction of the escort carrier. I think we want to do that. I know we're in the red a little bit. No, you don't need to go down there. You need to come up to here. Well, 2 more heavy cruisers. We've got a few here supporting the battleship. Oh, good, Vichy. You were bombing, supporting me. That was great. I like it when the AI does something right, even if it's against me. Still like it. Italy would like to give it. Yes, you may have metal. Okay, what technology? Motorized support units. That, I think we need to stop if it's still going. Infantry, yeah, stop that. Okay. Don't think it's anywhere being overly used at the moment. Okay, the 116th Panzer Division Windhund. I think that's a the dog, a greyhound or whatever we would call it in English American or American English or whatever. At least by the visual, it looks like that. Okay, in 1944, it participated in opposing the Normandy landings and was trapped in the Falaise pocket following Operation Cobra, along with the 2nd SS Panzer Division. It was responsible for holding the pocket open to allow the German troops to escape. It managed to escape, although with only 600 infantry and 12 tanks intact. In October, it fought against the American forces in the Battle of Aachen, with the town falling to the Americans on October 21st. It moved to Dusseldorf for refitting on November 8th. The division repulsed an attack from the U.S. 28th Infantry Division at the Hürtgen Forest. During the Battle of Hürtgen Forest, recapturing the town of Schmidt, thus providing the name to the 28th of the Bloody Bucket Division. The 116th then participated in the failed Watch am Rhein operation in the Ardennes, where it participated in the middle spearhead and later held the Allies at bay for other units to retreat before being withdrawn over the Rhine in March. It then opposed the 9th U.S. Army advances across the Rhine, thus stopping the planned Allied breakthrough, as well as opposing Operation Varsity's airborne landings. My understanding that the Varsity, and I may get this wrong, I get some things wrong once in a while, as you well know, was the largest airborne landings? Or maybe it even says here, with 2,800 men and 10 tanks against 50,000 Allied troops and supporting tanks. The divisions held off the U.S. 30th, 35th, 84th, and 4th Canadian and the U.S. 8th Armored Divisions. On the 18th of April 1945, the majority of the division was forced to surrender to the U.S. 9th Army, having been trapped in the Ruhr pocket. It was described by the commander of the 9th Army to the New York Times reporter John McCormack in March 1945 as the famed and best German Panzer Division, and was listed as the same in the article. In March, the remnants of the division continued to fight in the Harz Mountains until April, only surrendering after all of the resources had been used or depleted or something. Okay, well, looks like we get a good division, and we do need to move it up to the top, but it costs 180 ICs. Wow. Okay, Panzer Regiment, Panzer Grenadier Regiment, but neither of just like battalions, but the full size. And flak artillery, Panzer artillery, Panzer armored cars, Panzer Pioneer. Okay, pretty good. Pretty good. Well, we're getting a lot of fighters coming out. Ooh, a lot of defense. Okay, acoustic torpedoes, good. I think that's a one and done. Yes, good. Now that will really help once they upgrade. Really help our torpedoes. No, they've lost the Ark Royal aircraft carrier. The British expand an air base, save our money. Create a Panzer Corps. Alright, yes, we want that. Antonescu, we've had that happen before. Yes, we need this. I don't want to dwell on that one because I think that one may have caused me problems in the past. Okay, the 49th Infantry Division was formed in France in February 44 from the 191st Reserve Division and was destroyed at Aachen. Okay. The 47th Infantry Division was formed near Calais in France on the 1st of February, resurrecting of the 156th Infantry Division. It was destroyed in September in the Mons pocket. Yeah, no, we don't need that. Okay, oh yes, that's right, I forgot about that. Yes, okay, this needs to come over here. That'll create the sort of super Großdeutschland Panzer Corps thingy. So we want to do that. The 6th Panzer Army. That looks better than this current Panzer Army thingy here that Kepler's commanding. Or we might, no, probably just shift over to Kepler and command that. And here, we want to give these guys just a standard defensive level 2 general. Got a lot of those kind of guys. Oh, we don't want to give the guy in the cool fur hat. Need to stick him up, and he's Luftwaffe. Here we go. Need to stick him up in Norway or somewhere cold, or maybe garrisoning Iceland or something. There's just so many of these other guys that are just, I don't know, just completely standard, if you will. To use if we wish to have just a, okay, well, we've beat that garrison, we've got that. How are we doing fleet wise? Looks like maybe we were bombed a little bit. Our interceptor resting. They're still over that. There's interceptor. They're still stealing supplies from the Japanese. Oh, I think we have to pay for them sort of somehow, but let's come over here. Yeah, this is a super big base. So what I want to do is grab all of these 400s. There's a single 400 here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, maybe up here. Oh. Okay, well, we'll start with a second. And you go in there. There we go, that'll create a relatively big air group. No, not Hans Kammler. He still intrigues me. Evil bastard. He was, and I keep talking about this because I look at the viewing numbers and know they go up and down a bit, so not everyone gets everything. He's an SS officer. I think I put him here. He has a V by him because he is for the V weapons. He was towards the end of the war, starting sometime in 44. He more and more comes to command the SS's, and as the SS takes over other facilities, sort of special secret weapons projects, including the SS's overseeing of the production of the V weapons, mostly by slave labor that's worked to death. Yeah, I know Germany was having food problems, but if you got people who know how to put together your V weapons, you should feed them. You know, no, it's no justification to think it's all right or that it'd be fine. No, but you should, you know, just as a practical matter, even if they're Jews and you want them all dead, while the war is on, you should at least feed them. And of course they didn't. But he was in charge of all that. So again, he was very much a bad person, but he was some of the other more esoteric, like they Glock the Bell and some of the other stuff that supposedly he was in charge of. And there are three very strong, very but three very, documented descriptions of his death at three different times in three very distinct locations. So either he died 3 or maybe 4 times, meaning he didn't die any of them and then he died sometime later, or I really think, I'm not saying he escaped and made it out or whatever. I don't know what happened to him, like South America, but I really think that there was a specific plan, because he wasn't that big. It wasn't like, oh, we're trying to, I don't know, hide Hitler's death or something like this. But to have these three supposedly, I saw him die here or whatever it was, I forget the details. 3 different deaths that were documented, that people would have this and remember and whatever and report all this stuff. That I just got to think at least 1 or 2, at least 2 of them, I would say, but potentially all 3 of them have to be disinformation, not just wrong information, because, well, somebody's trying to cover up. Now, maybe just all clumsy attempts, maybe some SS guys being interviewed, and it's like, oh yeah, trying to give the Allies, whoever was interviewing, the British, the Americans, somebody else, what they want, good information. Oh, well, here's some juicy information for you. And maybe just very clumsy things like that that are volunteered without even, well, do you know what happened to so and so? No, they just like spew out, oh, well, Hans Kammler, I saw him crash in an airplane or whatever it was, and everybody died in that airplane, and I saw him get on it, or whatever it might be. They just may be giving it up as just a clumsy attempt. I'm not saying that this is all a big conspiracy, but I don't think with 3 of these things that they're just incorrect in that he thought he was on that airplane and he thought he died. No, I think somebody's making up. So it may not be any big conspiracy thingy, but I also think it very well may be a big conspiracy thingy. I just don't know, but he fascinates me because of some of that, And he was one of the ones that had some of the last big transports here in Breslau, as the Soviets were sort of coming in, that took off and flew some stuff somewhere. And some of the thought maybe they went to Norway or something. But he took off with a bunch of materiel that from some of these last big transports that Germany had, big transport airplanes, that disappeared. That I don't think there's any good record where they all went to or whatever. So they disappeared. Now, of course, they could have just, fly into Norway and crashed in the ocean. Or he may have crashed them in the ocean just so that the Allies wouldn't get a hold of whatever secret plans. Or I don't know what happened to it, but some stuff disappeared. Some stuff definitely not going to wanting to get out of the Soviets' hands, wanting to get it out of East Germany. I think Hans Kammler was too evil and too corrupt for Paperclip. That's the America's secret plan to pick up German scientists. Could be Nazi scientists, but I'm just sort of saying German scientists. The famous one of them was Wernher von Braun, leader in the American rocket, NASA and getting the rockets. So, Wernher von Braun was a Nazi. I've never seen a picture in his SS uniform, though he had one because he was a member of the SS. I don't know how much that was, and I do know there are cases that Himmler sort of presented, oh, here's your nice certificate for the reserve support, whatever, because there's a reservist element. There's also a SS support society kind of thing, so that you weren't necessarily, you know, any sort of, you were sort of a sponsoring kind of guy that got to wear a uniform, but you had no real job or position within the SS. Sort of some big shots and notable peoples in Germany, Himmler sort of presented these things, and they were sort of presented, and it was sort of thought that if you actually sort of turn this down, you're showing that you are unreliable to the state and the government, and what's wrong with you. And so a lot of people accepted some of these, but then basically stayed away and really didn't do anything active to, you know, support the SS. It's more like, yeah, here's your wonderful opportunity to become a supporting member, and you say no to it. So I don't know how National Socialist Werner von Braun was. I do know that there was some slave labor in his V1 programs, but again, I don't know how much he at that point had control over it. You know, meaning, could he stop the program? Probably, you know, the slave labor? Probably not. Could he resign and quit? Yeah, but that might not be the most healthy thing. And, you know, so, you know, I don't know how much to blame some of these guys. But Hans Kammler was a diehard believer, as opposed to some of the other sort of Nazi scientists that America spirited away. So I don't think even the Americans would have touched him under that secret program. Oh, if he had showed up in some base somewhere, oh, here's my big plane full of documents. Oh, I think they would have swept the documents up. You know, disappeared into whatever research laboratories the U.S. had. Oh, instantaneously, completely, for sure. And then I could, unlikely, but I could even see them disappearing, as in like a bullet to the head, to somebody like Hans Kammler, and maybe the air crew and whoever else, to sort of make the whole thing disappear. I actually see the British doing that more likely than the Americans, quite honestly. Sort of disappearing the whole thing, go, Hans who? Never heard of him, kind of thing, and make him disappear that way. I could see that more likely happening. But I don't see him flying out, and it's fairly well documented that he flew out in those airplanes. What was on him and other things may be much more of a mystery. But you don't, as the Soviets are moving west, you don't get in an airplane if you're in Breslau to go join the Soviets. So he was definitely looking to go somewhere else. Let's get back to away from gamers reminiscent about Nazi war criminals. And then there's one other guy here that I think I put him in. I think he's one of mine. Dornberger. He's wearing an army uniform. Why is he here? No, I don't know if I put him, because I would have put him a V. He maybe that's sort of what inspired me to put Kammler in. But, and see, he has strategic carpet bomber, because he was the guy, the army, the guy sort of leading the development program. And the V1 program was under the army originally, as like say Kammler sort of takes it over later on. It's the or the V2, if I'm mistaken. The V2 is under the army, and as was put, I saw a little bit ago, maybe it's up here higher. There's the V1. There's somebody with a V1 after his name, and that was because it was under it was V1s, and they were under the Luftwaffe. And we think of them both as rockets. Now, strictly speaking, that's, at least as my understanding of what defines a rocket. The V1 isn't. The V1 is a drone, an unguided, if you will, drone. It had a basically sort of stabilized, fly in a particular direction. I know I saw him here just a minute ago. Yeah, here it is. Watchel. he was the guy in charge of that. The V1, like I was saying, is more of a drone in that it has wings. It's launched off of a ramp, sort of like you would an airplane that's launched even from submarines, but from a lot of the battleships and cruisers with a catapult kind of thing, but they didn't have the catapult part. Launched off the ramp, has wings, it flies, and it has a ramjet engine that's why it's sort of the buzz bomb is sort of buzzing zzz, 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 as it's like dumping fuel into this jet engine, as opposed to a either liquid or solid fuel rocket engine. The V2 is a rocket. Well, that's somebody being awfully annoying driving by. We'll get back to it. Okay, so it's a ramjet, meaning it takes in air, mixes with the fuel to launch it, as opposed to the rocket. Rockets depending on how they may need a little bit of an air supply, but it's more of doesn't take in any air as a major intake. And the rocket program goes back to, I'm pretty sure it's before the Hitler comes to power. The army is experimenting with rockets. Some of the earlier ones, and they actually supposedly do it as sort of a stunt, mail delivery rockets, in that they would shoot, 30, 50 miles rapidly across something and land on the other side, and you'd have envelopes in them to deliver the mail. Sounds sort of stupid and dangerous and whatnot, but I think that was just to sort of, we're just doing this for mail delivery. It's not a weapon of war, post-Versailles Treaty kind of BS. But that's my understanding. That's under the Army, where the Luftwaffe program, now they both were up in Peenemünde, and the island, half of it was divided, Luftwaffe, and half of it was Army. So the Luftwaffe was looking for a flying bomb situation that would land, and so like I was saying, unguided, in that they would point it in the right way. It had sort of a gyro stabilizer to, not keep it off the course, and it would, by how much fuel you put into it, or maybe some other sort of cut-off ability, it would go so far and then cut off its fuel and then just fall and crash and land. So, where the rockets were a fast ballistic thing. Just why and the thoughts and how they divided that up. Okay. Well, we're just talking fighters, so let's just give him a decent commander. He can earn better. Oh, that's way too far down. Oh. Yeah, there we are. Fighter command. Rick and a few other people. Hi, Rick, if you're watching. We're, okay, we've got a lot of these guys here. So we're going to, right now, well, how are do we have some other fighter groups? Okay, that's a little chewed up. And they're sort of air intercepting a little bit over. No order, okay. Commenting on the Hearts, or the Black Ice Forum, about attaching air units to ground units, like these HQs. To the best of all of our knowledges, and I take that including people like Oh My God and some of the other really good guys that sort of test out some of these things, attaching air units to ground commands, you get no benefits to it, to the best of our knowledge. Though I do sometimes wonder if you get a supply usage benefit. I don't know if that's tested well enough. But you get no yeah, I'm just sort of looking at British totals. I'm thinking about running an Adler Tag here. Eagle Day. Oh, the Italians are coming after here again. Oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. Is it probably this way? Grimsby. Okay. Just not yet, Italy. If you wanted Italy, you could go after Brazil. You could go after Australia. You're coming around to German bases for invasion. You come down here to wherever this is. Sarabaja or something and invade Australia. I'd be happy if you did that. I mean, I wouldn't be upset at all. You know, I want Britain to be there, and you know, if you go somewhere else, yes, we're still doing the alt series. I haven't made too many more of those, but happy to help out some other place, but here I don't want to. What was it going on about? Something, I'm sure. We're getting ready for Adlertag and all that. So let's put all of these guys air intercept up over this region. Yes, this will probably help the Italians, but because since I'm not going to come in and support your invasion, you are probably going to lose all of your units that you're sending in there. And though I guess maybe the best element of that is maybe they'd be shattered and oh, I got to redo all this. I want them all passive. Sorry. So we're gonna restart all of these guys. Air intercept, big pattern. Okay, passive. Now it's passive because I've set that variable. Air intercept, big range, passive. Now, both of these will make sure. That's passive. Some of these may not immediately be coming up because it's passive. They're messed up enough that maybe. Again, I don't mind doing what I'm doing now, but I don't want to micromanage to see, oh, this squadron's almost all shot up, so I need to take it out of air use or whatever. I just sort of want this to work reasonably well. With reasonably low problems. Intercept. Passive. Air intercept. Passive. Intercept. Passive. Okay. Just if you guys come up there, and I hope to overwhelm. Oh, well, the American or British were out here messing with them, looked like. Best thing from my perspective is that the Allies successfully resist any landing, so they give up and go home. Windhund. Let's put Windhund up here with this war of sort of super divisions. Who do we have in charge of it? No, we want a Panzer guy. Marks will do. There we go. Okay. Our monthly Serbian uprising. found where we weren't at that moment. Okay. The FUG 350 Naxos. Radar warning receiver was a World War II German countermeasure to the SHF band centimetric wavelength radar produced by a cavity magnetron. It replaced Mextron, which was incapable of detecting centimetric radar. The Naxos ZR was fitted to tails of German night fighters to warn them if they were being tracked by the RAF de Havilland mosquitoes. Night intruders fitted with AI or AL Mark I radars and its derivatives. Okay, so this is something that goes on the back of a well, mostly night fighters, but could be bombers even, you know, if they're using mosquitoes to hit you at night, you know, if you're coming over Britain. So, okay, so radar aviation supply gain, good. Or we cannot do it, but we can afford to. Commando missions. Mein Führer, our special forces have fully recovered from our most recent mission. Okay. We're gonna go right now, because I'm not getting ready for any sort of invasion at the moment. Yeah. No, it really hasn't been that long in days. It's just we've been chatting a bit, so I want to see how we're doing here. Worst of the snow is over. Finally, good. Okay, well, looks like other than this little bit of a peninsula. Now here, I don't know, did they just decide? Oh, well, I guess they're coming down from here. That's why they're moving everybody else. Because I was wondering why they're moving everybody out, and then they still got these. I mean, they're just headquarters, but I guess they'll pick those up good. That's fine. You can have those provinces. Rare materials refining. Okay, that will obviously help up here. Move to 26%. And this next one would be 32, so I don't know, what's that? 8 or something. % better, which will help. Most assuredly help. We want to do Indian Army recruitment. Oh, we lost that because we lost control of the key required province. That's right. When that big uprising happened. How are we doing down here? Okay, good. No, there really isn't a expectation of losing. It was just more of a nuisance. Well, you guys support the attack. Guys, how long until you can attack? Well, 32 hours. Yeah, don't know if they'll last that long. Okay, well, they're going there. These guys, you cut them off through that path. Switzerland, Bulgaria. Yep. Short. Light cruisers' engines have advanced. Okay, that's good. I think we'll leave it there even with that. Now, how are we doing? Are we researching everything we need to? I know I stopped the carriers. That's what I'm sort of checking because we had run out of. Okay, yeah, we need to do the carriers some more. I thought we did, but we didn't have the research points. And so, well, let's do Hangar Bay first. Well, now that you've got your time, you come in and attack. Well, you attack from here now. We need supplies, so let's supply you from our supply source. And artillery brigades increased to 7. Well, good. Here, good. Move this over to carrier. Blue engines next. You support this attack. Will's okay. He's a Panzer leader, is he now? Infantry guns have advanced. Well, good. That'd be these, and also infantry support weapons. And yes, now we're going to come over here and do carrier armor. What else might we want to now do? Standard infantry batch. Oh, we're still waiting for anti-tank. How much time do we have before anti-tank comes? Oh, anti-tank equipment. March 13th. Yeah, we'll just wait. Leading it. Machine gun focus battalion's great. Well, we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more great videos. And of course, I really love hearing from you. Comments, questions, suggestions, corrections. Just got a good one the other day about machine gun calibers. I was incorrect. So please keep that coming. Really do appreciate it. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.